Your cooking oil is already dying. Right now, sitting in your pantry, that bottle of vegetable oil has a clock on it. Canola, sunflower, soybean, they all go rancid. Not eventually, not maybe. They go rancid, and most people never notice because they've never smelled truly fresh fat. The oxidation is slow, invisible, and silent. The oil in your cabinet right now might already be producing aldehydes and free radicals, compounds that damage cells, stress the liver, and taste like old crayons if you slow down enough to actually notice. And that's in a functioning house with a cool, dark pantry. Now imagine a grid-down scenario. No climate control. Summer heat pushing your storage space past 90 degrees. That vegetable oil you stockpiled doesn't last 6 months in those conditions. It lasts weeks. And when it goes, it doesn't just taste bad, it becomes actively harmful. You cooked your apocalypse survival meal in poison. There is an alternative that kept armies fed, frontier families alive, and civilizations running for thousands of years before a single bottle of Crisco ever existed. It requires no refrigeration. It laughs at heat. It sits on a shelf for 2 full years without going rancid if you process it correctly. It costs almost nothing to make, and the raw material is something most people throw directly in the trash. It's beef tallow, and you've been conditioned to fear it for 50 years by an industry that profits from selling you something worse. Let's fix that right now. First, understand what you're actually dealing with, because tallow is not grease. It is not the dirty brown fat drippings left in a pan after a cheap burger. Rendered tallow, properly processed, clarified, and stored, is a clean, pale yellow to ivory white solid fat with a mild, almost neutral smell. It has a smoke point of around 420 degrees Fahrenheit, which beats extra virgin olive oil, beats butter, beats coconut oil, and comes close to matching commercial frying oils. It is shelf-stable at room temperature because its molecular structure is dominated by saturated and monounsaturated fatty acids, which are chemically resistant to the oxidation that destroys polyunsaturated vegetable oils. The same chemistry that makes vegetable oil heart-healthy according to 1970s nutritional guidelines is the exact chemistry that makes it fragile, unstable, and short-lived. Tallow's saturated structure, the thing that made it vilified, is the precise reason it survives. This isn't fringe nutrition theory. This is basic organic chemistry. Double bonds in polyunsaturated fats are oxidation sites, points where oxygen molecules attack and break the chain, producing rancidity. Saturated fats have no double bonds. There is nothing for oxygen to grab onto. The fat is chemically inert at room temperature. Ancient peoples figured this out empirically over thousands of years. We forgot it in about 40 years of industrial food marketing. So where do you get the raw material? You need beef fat, specifically the fat trimmed from beef. The best source is something called suet, which is the hard, dense fat that surrounds the kidneys and loins of cattle. Suet renders cleaner, produces a more neutral-tasting tallow, and has the highest purity of any beef fat you can source. Go to a butcher, not a supermarket meat counter, an actual butcher, and ask for beef suet. In most cases, they will give it to you or sell it for almost nothing. Butchers trim suet constantly, and most of it gets thrown away or rendered down commercially. You can often get 5 or 10 pounds for $1 or $2, or simply for asking. If suet isn't available, any hard white fat trimmed from beef roasts or steaks will work. Avoid soft, yellowish fat or anything with a strong smell. That indicates the animal was older or the fat has already begun to oxidize before you even start. Now, let's render it. This is the process that transforms raw animal fat into shelf-stable tallow, and it is not complicated. But it requires patience and attention, because the difference between properly rendered tallow and a ruined batch comes down to temperature control and time. Start by cutting or grinding your raw fat into the smallest pieces you can manage. The smaller the pieces, the faster and more completely the fat cells rupture and release their oil. If you have a meat grinder, run the fat through it. If not, a sharp knife and 15 minutes of dicing works fine. Smaller is better. Place your fat pieces into a heavy-bottomed pot. Cast iron is ideal, stainless steel works, anything that distributes heat evenly. Add about a quarter cup of water to the bottom of the pot before you add the fat. This sounds counterproductive, but the water serves a critical function during the early stages of rendering. It prevents the fat from scorching on the bottom of the pot before the fat itself begins to liquefy and provide a liquid buffer. The water will completely evaporate during the rendering process and will not end up in your final product. Set your heat to low, not medium-low, low. You are not frying anything. You are slowly melting fat cells and allowing the liquid oil to separate from the connective tissue, membrane proteins, and water content of the raw fat. High heat at this stage will brown the fat solids, called cracklings, and introduce burnt, meaty flavors into your tallow that will shorten its shelf life and compromise its neutrality. You want a very gentle, slow melt. You should see occasional small bubbles as the residual water in the fat evaporates, but nothing should be sizzling aggressively. Stir the pot every 15 to 20 minutes. As the fat renders, you will see the solid white pieces slowly shrinking and the pot filling with clear, golden liquid. This is your tallow forming. The solid bits that remain, the cracklings, are the rendered-out connective tissue and membrane. They will eventually turn golden and crispy. When they stop releasing bubbles, it means the water content is fully gone and you are approaching the end of your render. This process takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours depending on the quantity of fat and your heat level. Do not rush it. When the cracklings are golden and the liquid in the pot is completely clear with no more bubbling, you are done rendering. Remove the pot from the heat and let it cool slightly for 10 minutes. You don't want to pour boiling fat through anything. Now, strain the liquid tallow through several layers of cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer into your storage containers. This step is critical. Any solid particles left in the final tallow will accelerate rancidity. You are filtering out every scrap of connective tissue, every particle of meat, every impurity that would introduce proteins and moisture into your shelf-stable product. Clear, strained tallow is long-lived tallow. Cloudy, particle-filled tallow is tallow that will go off in weeks. For maximum shelf life, do a second render. Pour your strained liquid tallow back into the clean pot, add another quarter cup of water, bring it back to the lowest possible heat for 30 minutes, then strain again through fresh cheesecloth. This double render drives out any remaining trace moisture and catches any particles that made it through the first straining. The result is a product that is remarkably pure, pale gold in liquid form, turning ivory white as it cools and solidifies. That color, that clarity is your quality indicator. The paler and cleaner the final product, the longer it will last. Now, pour it into your storage containers while it's still liquid. What you choose to store it in matters enormously. Glass mason jars are your best option. Glass is inert, doesn't leach chemicals into fat the way some plastics can, and is completely impermeable to oxygen. Fill the jars to within ½ inch of the top to minimize the headspace of air above the fat. Seal them immediately while the tallow is still liquid and hot. The heat will create a slight vacuum seal as it cools, just like home canning. Label every jar with the date of rendering. Store them in a cool, dark location. A basement, a root cellar, a dark pantry cabinet. Heat and light are the two environmental factors that will degrade even properly rendered tallow over time. In a cool, dark space in sealed glass jars, properly double-rendered beef tallow lasts 18 months to 2 years at room temperature without refrigeration. In a refrigerator, it keeps essentially indefinitely. In a freezer, you are looking at 3 to 5 years with no quality degradation. And if the grid goes down and your house heats up to 80 or 90 degrees in summer, properly rendered tallow still holds. Its oxidative stability means it can withstand months of warmth that would destroy vegetable oil in weeks. It may soften or even become fully liquid at high temperatures. Beef tallow melts around 95 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the composition. but it will re-solidify when cooled and the quality remains intact. Heat alone, without prolonged light exposure, does not rapidly oxidize saturated fat the way it does polyunsaturated oil. Let's talk about actually using it, because tallow is not just a survival fat you choke down out of necessity. It is a genuinely excellent cooking fat with a flavor profile that enhances rather than competes with food. At lower temperatures, tallow adds a subtle, rich, beefy depth to anything cooked in it. Vegetables roasted in tallow have a complexity that olive oil can't match. At high temperatures, tallow is one of the finest deep-frying mediums on the planet. McDonald's famously fried their French fries in beef tallow until 1990, when they switched to vegetable oil in response to a lobbying campaign by a vegetable oil interest group. The fries got worse. Everyone noticed. Nobody connected the dots publicly for years. For survival cooking specifically, tallow is calorie-dense in exactly the way you need when you're working hard, staying warm, or feeding people under stress. Pure rendered fat provides around 900 calories per 100 grams, comparable to any cooking oil, but with the added stability that means those calories are actually there when you need them, not oxidized into harmful compounds sitting in a rancid bottle. You can also use it beyond the kitchen. Tallow is a leather conditioner. It waterproofs boots and canvas. It can be rendered into candles or used as a lamp fuel. Mixed with lye, it makes soap. Medieval armies carried it for all of these purposes simultaneously. When your survival situation demands that every item in your storage serves multiple functions, tallow outperforms every specialty product in your cabinet. Here is the hard truth about the cooking oil industry. Vegetable and seed oils became dominant in the 20th century, not because they were proven superior for health or cooking, but because they were cheaper to produce industrially at massive scale. They had longer apparent shelf lives under controlled retail conditions, and the industry funding nutrition research had strong financial incentives to associate animal fats with cardiovascular disease. The science on that association is far more contested now than it was presented to be at the time. Meanwhile, the actual shelf life data on polyunsaturated oils under real-world storage conditions was never prominently discussed because it didn't serve anyone selling you a new bottle every 3 months. You are not being asked to abandon all cooking oils forever. You are being asked to think clearly about what actually survives when the conditions that keep modern food infrastructure running stop working. Cool supermarkets, climate-controlled warehouses, rapid turnover, regular restocking. When those conditions disappear, the fat that kept humans alive through every winter, every siege, every frontier, and every war is sitting in a jar in your pantry, solid and pale and completely indifferent to the chaos outside. Render it this weekend. You need 2 things: beef fat and a pot. Everything else is just time and low heat. The shelf in your pantry has been waiting for something that actually deserves to be on it.